so now let's freeze for a moment. So up to now we learned a lot of tools. We learned how to import data in FAMOS. We learned how to graphically view the data, how to extract information, both graphically and by applying functions. But all of this only happened with a single measurement. But today we want to talk a little bit about measurement series. So let's focus on this topic now. For this, I will resume here a little bit. So let me get rid of all this and change all those sizes here again and switch back to the browser. All right, now in order, so let's show you. All those folders have the same channel names in them. Yeah? And if I want to load them now in FAMOS, I need to tell FAMOS somehow to distinguish between those file names. And to do that, we have something called a measurement feature implemented, which can be activated by activating this little add symbol in the data browser. If I now load all my data into the variables list, you can see the channels have the same names. However, they have some additional information on them with an @ sign and then the name of the folder they were loaded from. And this now makes them unique in FAMOS. So now I can even select a few more folders and load all of them in here. Now, if you do this, the variables list gets populated rather quickly. So to have a little more overview here, we have a specialized view in the variables window, which is the measurements view. Yeah, we can activate it by switching tabs. And then we get a split view in the variables window. On the top part, we have all the measurement information. So in my case, the folder names where I loaded the data from. And in the lower part, I have, again, the channel names that are included in each of those measurements. Okay, from here, I can start again showing them in a curve window. So I simply open up a curve window. And now by tweaking this curve window a little bit, I can actually make this dynamic. So by going to the more channels property again, I can now choose the data set and change the add measurement option, which is on the lower right part here. Now instead of the name of the folder, I will change this to 1. And this one correlates with the one in the variables list. So you can see in the variables list, we have a small blue shaded area, and there we have a number in, which is the 1. And this is the same number that I added in here. If I now hit OK and I change the selection of my measurement, you can see that the curve window now also changes its content, because it's now showing the first channel of the selected measurement. And this can now be used for running comparisons. So if I go back in here, open up the more channels again, and copy this data set. And for the second one, instead of measurement number 1, I will choose measurement number 2. Now I am able to select multiple measurements in the variables list, and I can see directly the comparison between those two. I can even fix one of those measurements as a reference and then move through the other ones with my arrow keys to quickly compare all those measurements to the reference. Okay, of course I can also add more data again to the curve window, so same procedure as before, just drag and drop. And by the tooltip, you can already see it will be added as measurement 1, so this will already be dynamic. So if I now change the selection again, you can see the content changes. Okay, so this is basically the only difference compared to a single measurement. We just need to apply some additional information to make the measurements unique, and then we can manipulate the curve window to dynamically show us whatever information we need. Now let's talk about applying functions on measurements. So let's go back to the input window. When we look at one of those lines of code, if I would execute this line, FAMOS would be confused, kind of, because it doesn't know which channel PCB001 it should take now for the calculation, because there are a lot of them loaded. So we need to tell FAMOS beforehand which measurement to use. And this we can do with another command. So I will just add another command that is called cell use measurement. And again, I will select D1. And this one again corresponds to the selected measurement in the variables window. So by executing this command beforehand, I tell FAMOS everything that comes beneath this command will be referred to the selected measurement in the variables window. And if I want to also add the results to the current measurement, I can even add an add symbol here. And if I now execute all of those commands, you can see on the left side in the channels list, we now have the filtered channels also in this measurement. When I change the selection of the measurement, those filtered datasets get grayed out because they don't exist yet. If I run the whole sequence again now, they are being calculated and they are available. Okay, and again, of course, I can simply add them to my curve window again. So let's see, the filtered one here, this one here, and this one here. Now I need to rearrange them a little bit because they are behind. Luckily, I already know how to do that. The second one we don't need anymore. And now let's put the filtered in front. Simple, drag and drop in here, hit OK, and now we have the final result. And still, this curve window is completely dynamic, so if I change my measurement selection, I will have different content in this curve window. Okay, so this is basically the only difference in working with measurement series. You can use all your sequences that you already had. Only a few adjustments need to be made to even work with measurement assignment.